VeChain has been making an explosive movement upwards for the past couple of weeks. We've been seeing VeChain just break through major resistances. So in this video, we need to make sure that you understand certain support and resistance zones that you need to keep in mind. Some things you need to be careful of, because right now we think there's a bit of a downtrend or a bit of a exhaustion in the buying power. So in this video, I got Brendan with me. How's it going, man?
Yes, what is up, everyone? We are here to discuss whether it's time to FOMO buy or panic sell.
There you go.
But with all seriousness, there's some actually very important things that we need to understand, potential scenarios in VeChain's future here, because VeChain is in a super precarious place at the moment. So we're just going to run through some TA and talk about possible scenarios with VeChain.
100%. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you comment, like, share, subscribe, and just join our Discord. All the links are in the comment section below. But I think the main idea we're trying to say here is that VeChain is extremely overbought at the moment. We had a nice uptrend. We've been uptrending since, beginning of the year, basically since February. And right now we've been hitting we just hit the 19 cent region. So overall, we've been since yesterday seeing some sort of retracement happen. If you didn't watch our video or analysis from yesterday, we'll link that in here somewhere. But overall, yeah, we're seeing some bearish divergence everywhere, which is okay. We need that. That's the main thing we're trying to say. Right now, it's a healthy retracement. If we do see it, I want to see it, because the higher we go up, the more parabolic we are, the more of a sharp downtrend we're going to have after. And VeChain has been just literally moving upwards. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah, and let's discuss some of the reasons why we're so overbought, and we're talking about a potential retracement here. One of the first reasons, you actually brought this up, which was the candles here. Do you actually want to take a second to describe that? You did a very good job describing the current candle.
For sure, because I do a great job every time. So basically, overall, right now, every time we have a breakout, we move all the way up, and then you need to see somewhere at this major resistance or critical zones. We're having those, long-bodied candles showing that the open and the close is pretty far away. Buyers are completely dominant. Sometimes we have a bit of a selling point, but just overall, you can see it. And as soon as we start having these kind of candles, those are the indecisive candles, wicks to the upside, wicks to the bottom, and the body is narrow. It's just showing you that the buyers and the sellers are just not agreeing on a price right now, and that's usually bearish after an uptrend. Right now, we saw that yesterday. Wicks to the upside, wicks to the bottom. Buyers are not as confident anymore. As soon as the market sees this candle over here, we see a bearish sentiment right away. And right now, we just also had another hammer candle over here, inverted hammer. Buyers tried to push, sellers pushed it all the way down. So we're seeing that happen overall. And if we go back here at those areas where we reached major levels, same thing. We push up, very long bodied candles. We start having those indecisive candles, boom, right away, a downtrend. And you'll see that all across the chart here. Same thing maybe over here, for example. Right away starts foreshadowing that the market is indecisive. As soon as we see those candles, then we go down. So something we definitely need to keep in mind, and I think right now is just showing us some early stages of that, and sometime soon, I think, yeah, we're gonna go down for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Whenever you see those types of candles at the top of an impulse like that, that could definitely signal a possible reversal point here. Now, if we zoom out, I don't know if we have our Fibonacci extension set up.
Yeah, everything's set up.
Okay, perfect. So the reason why we've been saying 19 cents for a while is based off a Fibonacci extension for macro bottom, top of this impulse, bottom of the retracement. We've been pretty well reacting off our Fibonacci extension levels. So we've been calling 19 cents for a long time. We pretty much hit 19 cents just under. But if you look at this price structure, folks, we're so completely overbought and overextended. I don't know. Do we have our indicators pulled up? Maybe I kind of want to talk about our indicators here. We got that, right?
Yeah, that's right here in the bottom. You see the RSI and the MACD.
Perfect. So if we take a look here, if we just extend this a little bit more exaggerated, we can see that beginning here with the MACD here on the 6 hour, the histogram is starting to move down. We're starting to see a little bit of weakness build up in the histogram. If we look at the RSI extremely overbought, starting to make a new low. If we look at volumes on the downside. And if we even look at most recent price action here, zoom back in to the short term here, we're actually below this spike in volume here, kind of 18 cents 3. So we're starting to see a lot of bearish divergence And honestly, at this point, in my opinion, I think it's very likely that we retest this 16.5 region. And if VeChain can hold above 16.5 cents, I honestly think that's the best case scenario. If we can't, I think we're probably going to fall down further. I don't know. Do you want to talk about these further potential retracement
Yeah, no,
zones?
100%. I think just something you just mentioned as well, the fact that we're going from the 6, just us analyzing the chart overall prior to this video, it looks like from the 2-hour all the way to the 6-hour time frame, we're having the MACD ticking down. Same thing with the RSI on the 2 hours, also having lower highs as we move. But overall, you know, we're seeing that confluence between all these different time frames. Once we start having that somewhere from the 1 hour, 2 hour, all the way to the 4 hour and the 6 hour, those mid range time frames, just kind of, you know, overall, obviously we're not saying VeChain is a bad project or whatever, but we're just saying for the short time frame here, we're seeing those early signs that we're gonna fall, and we're seeing it happen across some certain time frames. And right now, just like we said, Brendan, this zone over here is a lot of trading activity on the VPVR, so we can see that how that's going to be our first stop. If we don't maintain that, then the next stop over here at somewhere between the $14.50 and the $13.50 is where we previously actually broke out. So this is also a significant support that will give us some cushion as we break down. And overall, we know that the this EMA over here, which Brendan made sure it's extremely visible to you guys.
200 EMA on the 6 hour. Hell yeah.
There you go.
That's
there
my
you
EMA.
go. So 300 EMA on the 6 hour. Also, usually, if we zoom all the way out, you don't like moving the chart too much here, but this right here, it's every time we have a massive uptrend and create a distance between that EMA, so the 200 EMA on the 6 hour, we always downtrend back to it. Go up, downtrend back to it. Same thing over here. So looks like VeChain has no problem dropping majorly from very high levels all the way down. So 43%, 50% at one point. Sometimes here, what do we have here? 36%. So right now, if you look at VeChain right here, and we try to actually measure how long it would be, it's a long way down. Obviously, right now it's 50%. But if we start to play around here for a bit, you'll see that our all of those EMAs are gonna catch up for a bit. Where's the brush? How come I always use it? Okay, there you go. So this EMA is gonna start meeting us sometime soon here. Those EMAs are going to meet us sometime soon here if we start up going sideways for a bit. So we could be going back up to it, and I think sometime enough here, as soon as we start going sideways, those EMAs will meet us somewhere around this region for sure. First stop is here. If that doesn't hold, then you're right. Somewhere between the $14 is where our next target would be. And as soon as we get there, we'll have to reanalyze. Say that again?
14 cents.
$14 is all good.
Yeah, so look, folks, we're quite overextended. We've been pumping a lot. We're right up against resistance. We're starting to see bearish candles. We're starting to see bearish divergence on our indicators throughout different time frames. I think at some point in the near future here, VeChain is likelier than not for some kind of pullback, some kind of consolidation phase. Now, that doesn't mean that, you know, this is the end for VeChain. I don't know. We're talking like short term here, like next few weeks.
There's been a huge battle in the comments, man, and all these posts. Some people are saying VeChain is a scam. Other people are saying it's basically, you know, where it's at.
VeChain is where it's at. And look, honestly, VeChain is such a great project. You want this thing to consolidate so you can either buy the dip if you want, but also consolidation is healthy for price action. You don't want something that just goes up in a straight line forever because it's unsustainable. You want periods of correction and consolidation because the longer the base, the higher in the space. The more it consolidates, the more, you know, liquidity gets bought up at lower levels. The more sustainable the uptrend will be on the other end. So, you know, I do think some kind of pullback is warranted. You know, we have the 236 right here at 14.5. So I honestly think we're probably going to retest about 14.5 to 13.5 cents. I honestly, that makes the most sense, man. Like, look, all this sideways price action, this peak in volume, the 236. I think like we're probably going to retest 14.5 to 13.5 at some point. At least it's likely. I mean, we could always break through 19 cents, but I think at this point it's probably more likely that we consolidate and retrace.
Definitely. So something else we can also add here, you know, it's all about how many data points we can analyze at the same time and which one of those data points are, you know, the most valuable, which ones make more sense. So it's like a puzzle, you know, pick up the pieces. There's a bunch of pieces, bunch of data points, and you try to get some sort of confluence between them and try to make the story and what it's trying to tell us. Wow, I sound like one of those guys right now. So overall, with the VeChain Bitcoin pair, we had this resistance zone that we've been talking about for the past week or so. At the 236 all the way down to the 211, we broke above it, and now we're pushing to higher levels over here. That we something even this one over here as well, we broke above it, and now we're trying to see if it's going to hold or not. So the day, we still have 7 hours and 50 minutes to go. We'll see how that closes. We're seeing some sort of a early retracement happen right now, but the close of this over here is extremely important to what VeChain will do, right? So we're looking at the 4 hour right now, just to kind of zoom in on the price action here. But
okay.
no, I'm talking about this right here.
Gotcha.
But VeChain Bitcoin pair, we need to also see where the close happens, and as well on the VeChain USDT pair, we also need to see where that close will happen. So we just need to basically see how that plays out. We're reaching those critical zones where we expect a lot of sellers to come in, and yeah, it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, 100%. And if we go back here to the VeChain US dollar price, I mean, let's say we do break out bullishly. I mean, could we go to kind of 25-cent VeChain? I think so. If we break out bullishly, if we can hold above 19 cents, we've been reacting pretty well off our Fibonacci extension levels. 25 cent is our next Fibonacci extension level. Although, again, in the short term, folks, no, I'm not bearish on VeChain all of a sudden long term. I'm extremely bullish on VeChain long term, but things don't go up in a straight line forever. Things need to retrace, things need to consolidate. And at this point, based off our indicators and resistance and the candle bodies, we think probably a pullback, or at the very least some kind of consolidation for a little bit here next few days, next few weeks or so here is probably well warranted.
You heard it, folks. So yeah, if you like the analysis, if you like what, if you agree or disagree, make sure you mention in the comment section below. I know, Brendan, we wanted to shill token metrics to show people what kind of value they're missing on, basically.
Yes.
Well, I'll give you the floor.
Yes, I will definitely shill token metrics. Because look, folks, there's so many different coins to look at in this market. How do you know what to invest in? Well, I think token metrics is a very good tool in your toolbox that you can have because they do AI-fueled price predictions and portfolio suggestions. They also do very helpful code reviews. I use token metrics very often. I find them very helpful. So if you can spare the money, we highly recommend it. They're increasing their prices soon because they're upgrading their AI, their functionality, and the amount of cryptocurrencies they look at. So if make sure you get grandfathered in at the cheaper prices. If you're interested, you can see here that this is what Token Metrics thinks will be the top performing cryptocurrencies when investing in a year-long horizon, and this changes depending on kind of the state of the market. So if you want to stay up to date with these portfolio suggestions and code reviews, check out our link down in the description below. You get 10% off. Again, very helpful. It's not the end all be all, but just like we look at the MACD and the RSI, we want to have different tools in our toolbox. So this is another tool that if you can spare it, we highly recommend it. Link for everything is down in the description below. As well, I'll shill, since I'm shilling already, our VIP Discord group, our Patreon. You get access to our Patreon. Link for everything is down in the description below. We talk about low cap gems, very interesting setups and very helpful resources. You also get more access to ourselves. I mean, we talk to you guys. We talk to all our Discord members all the time, but we talk to our VIP Discord members on pretty much on a daily basis. So make sure you check all that out. That's enough. It's enough shilling for me. If you got any final words there,
have a great day, guys.
Take care.